Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero. We are back again talking about the No Rest for the Wicked CEO, Thomas Mahler, teaches Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante how making video games works after she attacked him as a bad word. Because of course YouTube doesn't like that word in particular, the beginning of that word, so I have to kind of censor it altogether. But this comes to us from That Park Place. Thomas Mahler, the CEO of Moon Studios, which is currently developing No Rest for the Wicked, gave senior editor Alyssa Mercante a quick lesson on how developing video games works after she attacked him as a bad word. Mahler's education of Mercante occurred in the wake of ex-user Ingenui, implying she worked on Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which Moon Studios developed. She wrote in June, quote, "Hey new folks, I'm Ray. I work in the gaming industry in user experience, R&D, plus game production. I worked on various software and hardware for Xbox. I now work as an independent media producer and had the privilege of working on the Dota Internationals 2023 and other gaming media projects. I highly doubt it." She then shared an image of Ori and the Will of the Wisp. You can see the tweet here. This is Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and tell me why. The post was brought to more widespread attention after this person made a thread attempting to defend the video game industry's embrace of woke ideology. She even began her defense by claiming that DEI consulting companies are not bullying studios into changing creative direction, despite Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair publicly encouraging bullying tactics at the GDC in 2019, where she instructed attendees to terrorize game developers. That's right. This person claims that they're not trying to push in this ideology, while we literally have the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., a consulting firm that people should stop using, like Square Enix. I'm glad they're off there. That you have to terrorize game developers until you get what you want. Baylor said, quote, if you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value and what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Yeah, sounds like a threat to me, you commie. But of course you're from Canada, so can't expect nothing less. Given this person's post discussing the current state of the video game industry and her post from June being referenced as her being an authority on the topic, that authority was immediately undercut when Mahler simply stated, quote, I'm the director behind both Ori games and I don't know who you are and how you were affiliated with Ori. You can see the tweet here. Good on him for responding to this clown. In response to this person admitted, I worked with Xbox User Research. I was a URA for Global Publishing during 2018 to 2020. Nice to meet you. So you lied. So you got called out on a lie. According to SmashJT.com, she also deleted a post that stated, yep, I worked with Xbox User Research / Deborah Henderson. Mahler then responded, that could explain it. I didn't want to cause you any trouble. I just saw you post and you worked on Ori and I had no idea who you are. He added, since you're calling people names online, I thought it was important to inform people that you never actually worked for Moon Studios and that you didn't ever directly engage with anyone at Moon. Always nice to meet new people, Ray, even those you disagree with. Then Alyssa Mercante decided to weigh in by attacking Mahler. She wrote, you're a bad word. Mahler initially replied, I don't know who you are. Nobody should, but she's a clown. Mercante then reminded him that she worked for Kotaku, nobody cares, who ran a hit piece written by Ethan Gosch against Moon Studios and Mahler back in 2022. Maybe you forgot, posting about how this bad stuff happened apparently. Mahler then provided Mercante a masterclass on how video game development worked. He wrote, quote, you're apparently a journalist from Kotaku, so I'm guessing you haven't worked in the actual game development yet. Let me try to explain the thing you posted about, which I'm guessing was that from that hit piece from a few years back. Yes, I'm guilty of what's stated in that image, and that's okay, because this is the normal creative process. We brought lots of veterans into Moon because generally great people want to get the opportunity to work on great projects, and that's our goal at Moon. We always set out to create the kind of games we'd love to play ourselves that fill some hole in the market because for some reason these holes haven't been filled yet, and we're all incredibly passionate about what we do. I highly recommend Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp 100%, by the way. Mahler elaborated, with great talent comes lots of enthusiasm and passion, which absolutely leads to arguments because ultimately everyone is working hard on getting their vision into the game. But also everyone at Moon understands that we're working together as a team, so the point of these arguments is then to try to convince each other why this or that solution would be the best thing for the game we're making, and the best solution ought to win. Most of the times, the beauty behind these arguments is that everybody gets a chance to contribute, and more often than not, the actual solution will be the one that ultimately everybody contributed to, because we're dealing with very complex issues all the time, and the complex problems often also need complex solutions, he explained. It is often a chaotic process, but it's controlled chaos. He continued, quote, "And yes, it has also happened that I agreed to a certain decision, play tested some more, and changed the decision after. Again, to me, this is a normal part of the process, since things get clearer and clearer the more stuff gets implemented and the more we play and test. To me, all this is just how creative work happens," he shared. "It can be painful, but my job, like any good director, is to understand what's going on and make sure the right decisions get made, even if some work might get rendered useless in the process. So here, even Miyamoto is guilty of that." And we got games like Ori and the Will of the Wisp and Ori and the Blind Forest, which are fantastic platforms. If you haven't played them, they're practically on every platform at this point, including the Switch. Mahler then posited that this article was likely influenced by a number of disgruntled employees who were let go. Quote, "A few years back, we hired some folks that didn't really fit our culture, so we had to part ways with them, and then this article happened. Wasn't a great feeling to see some ex-Moon folks talk badly behind our backs, but ultimately it just made it clear that these folks shouldn't have worked at Moon in the first place. Good. And I hope they're happier now wherever they landed. I don't know why you're out here cursing out game developers and what your whole deal is." She's looking for clout and attention because nobody's paying attention to her outside of her nonsense. "But I hope that I gave you some insight into the creative process and its messiness and beauty," he shared. He then concluded writing, "I hope you have a nice day. Yours, bad word." She did not respond. It's also interesting here that V points out, this is over on SmashGT.com, says, "So she's into marketing and implies that customers are all these terrible things, while also using very vulgar language like this. Yeah, I can see why studios don't want to be seen associating themselves with her." The whole exchange highlighted a pretty significant issue in the industry, the gigantic gap between journalism and game development. Mercante's extremely rude approach didn't stand a chance against Mahler's calm, educated, and experienced explanation of how real game development works. This is why the activists posing as journalists need to move out to another past career. It hurts the entire industry attacking the devs, making great games just to get attention. But it's absolutely crazy to me that she's never going to leave the journalist world. She always wants to be seen as a quote-unquote journalist, even though she doesn't seem to play video games. No one at Kotaku really seems to play video games. They just like to say a bunch of nonsense and spew a bunch of garbage into the atmosphere, hoping somebody listens to these mainstream nonsense journalists who literally bring nothing to the table outside of spewing hate, spewing bigotry that they like to say everybody else likes to be bigots. They like to spread hate. And they want to hate on the YouTubers who are doing their jobs much better at a cheaper production cost. And they hate to see it. They just hate to see that they're being absolutely replaced by just people sitting in their apartments or sitting in their houses with a microphone and a camera doing their jobs and reporting the news much better than they are. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Comment below how you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you get a notification anytime I post a new video. Go live on this channel. And I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.